Tactile signing is a common means of communication used by people with both a sight and hearing impairment, see deafblindness, which is based on a standard system of deaf manual signs. Kinds of tactile signing. Hand over hand, also known as hands-on signing. The receiver's hands are placed lightly upon the back of the hands of the signer to read the signs through touch and movement. The sign language used in hand-over-hand signing is often a slightly modified version of the local sign language. This is especially the case when used by people with Usher syndrome, who may have first lost their hearing and later their sight. The sign language used may also be a manually coded version of the local oral language, such as signed English, or a midway point between the two known as contact signing. Tracking. The receiver holds the wrists of the signer to keep signs within field of vision, and to gain information from the signer's movements. This is sometimes used when the receiver has a limited field of vision. Tactile fingerspelling. Deafblind alphabet. Every word is spelled out using a manual alphabet. Different manual alphabets may be used, such as the one-handed Tactile alphabet. The receiver places their hand over the back of the hand of the signer, or the two-handed manual alphabet, which is often used in a form adapted for deafblind communication, known as the deafblind alphabet, in which letters are produced onto palm of the receiver's hand. This alphabet is also sometimes used in the USA, even though the wider deaf community there use a one-handed alphabet. Other simple signs like a tap for yes, or a rubbing motion for no, may be included. In Japan, a system developed by a deafblind woman is in use to represent the 5 vowels and 5 major consonants of the Japanese language on the fingers, where the signer types onto a table, and the receiver places their hands on top to listen. See this page for more info. Coactive signing. The sender moves and manipulates the hands and arms of the deafblind person to form sign shapes or fingerspelled words. This is often used with deafblind children to teach them signs, and with people with an intellectual disability. On-body signing. The body of the person who is deafblind is used to complete the sign formation with another person, e.g., chin, palm, chest. Often used with people who also have an intellectual disability. Lorem, a hand-touch alphabet developed in the 19th century by deafblind inventor and novelist Hieronymus Lorem, and still used in Europe. Tracing or print on palm, tracing letters or shapes onto the palm or body of receiver. Capital letters produced in consistent ways are referred to as the block alphabet or the Spartan alphabet. Braille signing. Using 6 spots on the palm to represent the 6 dots of a braille cell. Alternatively, the signer may type onto a table, as if using a braille typewriter, see Perkins Brailler, and the receiver will place their hands on top. This method can have multiple receivers on top of each other, however a receiver sitting opposite will be reading the braille cell backwards. Tactile sign language versus visual sign language. Little data exists on the specifics of variation between visual and tactile sign language use. However, what studies there are suggest a significant degree of difference. In hand-over-hand signing, elements of deaf sign languages known as non-manual features, such as facial expression, will not be received and will need to be substituted with supplementary information produced manually. Common non-manual features used in deaf sign languages that are absent in tactile signing include raised eyebrows as a question marker and a shaking head as a negation. Tactile signing is also contained within a smaller space than is typical in visual sign language. Signs that touch the body may be moved forward into a more neutral space. Other signs which are usually produced in an out-of-range location, such as the leg, may be modified, either spelled or a variant sign used. Different rules govern turn-taking, greetings and goodbyes. Visual modifications. Many deafblind people make the most of their remaining sight, so the right lighting is vital. Mostly bright, even light is best. Avoid glare, but some prefer dim light, so it's best to ask. Susie Morgan suggests the following guidelines for appearance and attire of interpreters working with deafblind clients. Wear clothes that provide contrast for your hands. Consider the following when selecting clothing. Dark colors, black, navy blue, brown, dark green, etc. for persons with light skin. Light colors, off-white, tan, peach, etc. for persons with dark skin. Solid colored clothing. Avoid stripes, polka dots, etc. High necklines, no scoop necks or low V-necks. Contrasting colors between skin tone and background walls can also help. It is better to avoid jewelry which can be distracting, either tactually, e.g. rings and bracelets, or visually, e.g. sparkling drop earrings. Fingernails should also be short and smooth. A neutral color of nail polish may be worn, but bright reds and dark colors can be too strong. Working in close proximity to clients, when using tactile sign, interpreters need to be aware of strong smells such as perfumes, cigarette smoke or onion breath. Tactile signing can also be exhausting for both the interpreter and the deafblind client. Breaks are even more important than with regular interpreting, and should be taken more often. Correct seating can also reduce the risk of strain of injury. Both communication partners should be comfortable and at an equal height. Specially designed cushion tables for tactile signing can be employed. History. In 1648, in Britain, John Bulwer wrote of a couple who were proficient in tactile sign communication. A pregnant example of the efficacious nature of the touch in supplying the defect or temporal incapacity of the other senses we have in one Master Babington of Burntwood, in the county of Essex, an ingenious gentleman who through some sickness becoming deaf, doth notwithstanding feel words, and, as if he had an eye in his finger, sees signs in the dark, whose wife discourseth very perfectly with him by a strange way of orthography or alphabet contrived on the joints of his fingers, who taking him by the hand in the night, can so discourse with him very exactly, for he feeling the joints which she toucheth for letters, by them collected into words, very readily conceives what he would suggest unto him. By which examples referring to this case, and to that of an abbot, who became deaf, dumb, and blind, who understood writing traced upon his naked arm, you may see how ready upon any invitation of art, the tact is, to supply the defect, and to officiate for any, or all of the other senses, as being the most faithful sense to man, being both the founder, and vicar general, to all the rest.